45,000. That's more ways to worship Jesus than there are flavors of Pringles. And you'd think, with all this supposed divine guidance, there'd be a little more agreement, right? You'd think. This, to me, is the ultimate definition of gullibility. It's like walking into a room full of people screaming contradictory instructions and just picking the one that sounds the nicest, then insisting that your shouted instruction is the absolute, unassailable, God-given truth. And the Bible, bless its ancient, contradictory heart, is the supposed bedrock of all these conflicting pronouncements. Contradictions are as abundant and obvious as well as the number of denominations. You can find passages that seem to give diametrically opposed advice. And when you point this out, you get the classic Christian response, which is usually some variation of, you just haven't read enough of the Bible, or you're not reading it in the right context, or you're taking it out of context. Or, my personal favorite, the Holy Spirit will reveal it to you. Ah, yes, the Holy Spirit, the ultimate theological get-out-of-jail-free card. Apparently, the Holy Spirit is notoriously bad at proofreading. It's like, hey, God, you know that thing you said in Leviticus about shellfish? Yeah, don't worry about that. When I get to Peter, I'm going to have him say it's totally fine. Just a little divine editing. You know how it is. And the sheer variety of these interpretations. You have your Catholics who are all about tradition, sacraments, and a pope who's apparently got the divine hotline. Then you have your Protestants who, as the name suggests, protested about the Catholics and then proceeded to protest about each other. You have Baptists who seem to be really into a lot of water, and I should know I used to be a Baptist. Baptismal, not christenings, but fully submersed in the water. Okay, so first you have your Baptists who seem to be really into a lot of water. Methodists who are, well, I'm not entirely sure what they're methodical about, but it involves picnics, probably. Lutherans who seem to appreciate a good organ. And don't even get me started with the Pentecostals with their enthusiastic praise. It's like a theological buffet where everyone's demanding their own dish is the only authentic one. And then you have the really niche ones. The ones that make you wonder if someone just woke up one day and thought, you know what? The Bible is missing a crucial point about the proper way to fold communion wafers. And poof! A new denomination is born. Did you know there are churches that believe Jesus was actually a lizard person? Okay, not officially. But you know someone, somewhere, is probably starting a GoFundMe for that doctrine. The Bible itself is a testament to this interpretive free-for-all. Centuries of translations, different manuscript versions, books added and removed from the canon, it's less a pristine message from on high, and more like a very, very old, very influential, and very often rewritten document. We've got the King James Version, the Revised Standard Version. And also, there's a few different Bible versions leading up to the King James Version. So the King James is not closest to the truth. It's actually further away from it. So we've got the King James Version, the Revised Standard Version, the New International Version, the Living Bible, the Message. Well, you get the point. If we keep going, I'll be going on this all day. Lots of versions. It's like a literary equivalent of a game of Jenga, where each new translation removes a block and hopes the whole tower doesn't collapse. And some Christians will tell you with a straight face, oh, there are no contradictions in the Bible. You just haven't understood it. People, if you think there are no contradictions in the Bible, I genuinely fear for your ability to discern reality. It's like saying there are no contradictions in the debate between a flat earther and an astrophysicist. The contradiction is the entire point of the debate. This assume it's true mentality is, I believe, the bedrock of what I see as religious gullibility. It's a shortcut. It's an easy way out of the messy, time-consuming, and often downright uncomfortable process of critical thinking. Instead of asking, is this true? The question becomes, does this feel true? Or more accurately, does this confirm what I've already been told is true? And this is where the God Bless the USA Bible, otherwise commonly known as the Trump Bible, comes in. This isn't even trying to hide it anymore. It's a blatant fusion of religious dogma and political ideology. It's a prime example of how easily religious texts can be manipulated when people are predisposed to believe whatever confirms their existing biases. They're not looking for objective truth. They're looking for validation. And if they can twist biblical verses, or in this case, combine them with a selectively and incomplete chosen version of the Constitution to support their political aspirations, well, that's just a bonus from their divine overlord, right? This fragmentation, this absolute chaos of interpretation, this willingness to believe without rigorous questioning, it's not evidence of divine truth. It's evidence of human invention. It's evidence of our incredible capacity for storytelling, for finding patterns, for needing to make sense of a complex world. But it's not evidence of God. If a religion's core text leads to tens of thousands of conflicting interpretations, each claiming to be the real truth, then the religion itself has a fundamental problem. It's like a recipe that's so poorly written, it results in a million different dishes, none of which are consistently edible. And for those of you in the YouTube comment section, the ones who are going to swoop in like theological knights in shining armor to defend your particular brand of truth, let me just say this. Your proselytizing, your gaslighting, your projections, they're not going to convince us. They are, in fact, more evidence of the problem. You're so invested in your interpretation being the interpretation that you can't even engage with the possibility that you might be wrong. And that, my friends, is the epitome of intellectual surrender. The Bible itself warns against division. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 10 through 13, is practically a cry for help from the early church, begging people to stop forming cliches around Paul, Apollos, and Cephas. So the very disunity that plagues Christianity is, in a way, something the text itself acknowledges as a problem. Yet, here we are, millennia later, still bickering over who gets to be the true follower. My audience, you incredible people who are questioning, deconstructing, and generally refusing to be intellectually spoon-fed, you understand this. You've probably experienced this firsthand. You've seen the logical leaps, the appeals to emotion over evidence, the outright contradictions that are explained away with the magical, invisible hand of the Holy Spirit. So I have to ask you, what do you think about this phenomenon? What are the most absurd denomination differences you've encountered? What's the most ridiculous way you've heard someone try to explain away a biblical contradiction? I want to hear your stories. Drop them in the comments below. Let's celebrate the beautiful, messy, and often hilarious reality of human belief. Because here's the truth. And it's a truth that doesn't require a special divine revelation or 1,000 years of tradition to understand. If a claim cannot withstand scrutiny, if it relies on faith over evidence, if it leads to more division than unity, then it's not truth. It might be comforting. It might be culturally ingrained. It might be passed down through generations. But it's not verifiable, objective truth. The pursuit of truth is a journey. It's a rigorous, sometimes uncomfortable, but ultimately rewarding process. It requires intellectual honesty, a willingness to admit when you're wrong, and a commitment to evidence. And that's something that, in my humble, evidence-based opinion, is far more valuable than clinging to a belief system that's as fractured and contradictory as Christianity has become. So if you're still stuck in the Christian labyrinth, wondering which path leads to genuine understanding, I implore you to step back. Take a deep breath. Question everything. Don't just assume your denomination, your upbringing, your community has all the answers. They're likely just one of thousands of interpretations. The real answers, the real understanding, lies in the pursuit of knowledge, in critical thinking, and in the courage to embrace uncertainty until verifiable evidence leads you to a more solid ground. Again, this is Kim McPhail, and thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, and you enjoyed this dive into theological absurdity, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share this video with anyone who needs a good laugh or a gentle nudge towards intellectual freedom. Also, if you enjoy this podcast and would like to support it, please consider making a $3 monthly donation by going to my Patreon and becoming a member. The link is in the description below. And remember, the universe is vast and full of wonders. Let's explore it with open minds and critical eyes. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay curious, and keep seeking the truth. Thanks for watching. I look forward to the next time we talk, and bye.